Hello and welcome to a sofa chat with the very beautiful Leigh Campbell. Leigh and I share two stories. We're both hypnotherapists and we've both experienced cancer. And the reason I've asked Leigh to join us today is in order that she can share this amazing wisdom that she's shared in our professional group. Throughout her whole journey, she's been there, as beautiful as she is today, sharing most incredibly positive stories, but also reaching out on days when it's not been so easy and asking for some prayers and support. So I'm going to hand over to Leigh and we'll have a good natter like we normally do on the sofa chat. So Leigh, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yeah. And it's a real pleasure to share my story, and I hope it does help people to realize, it's not always what you think it is, and that the kindness of people and the support of people around you is incredible when things happen that you don't expect.
Yeah.
And I was diagnosed on the 22nd of December 2022, so all the twos,
Yeah.
with colon cancer.
Mhm.
And it was the biggest shock of my life. And until you hear those words that you have cancer, you will never really truly know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's the range of emotions are just enormous. And you go pretty much straight away to thinking, I have to get my affairs in order. And
Yes.
it's not necessarily that way. You just assume that that is the case when there's actually a lot of treatment, support, help, healing that you can do to make sure that I've just had my 40th birthday, so I've got here. And I think once you know the facts and the information that you need to know and what needs to be done, and you have a plan, and when you have a plan you can do it. It's when you're in limbo land is the hard part.
Excuse me 1 minute. I've got something in my eyes, so I'm
Oh,
not crying.
don't worry, I hope not. Don't want to make anybody cry. um, But yeah, so, I had the surgery then 6 days later to remove the tumor, and I had a bowel resection. So that was the day before New Year's Eve. And I got home in 4 days.
Only 8 days from a
So
diagnosis.
yeah, so yeah, you're right. I was thinking it was
Wow.
6, but it was 8. So I had a Christmas to get through and hang on in there, knowing that this was ahead. But I just focused on what they were telling me, the facts about it, not the noise. And I think that's the one thing I find. Everyone wants to tell you their story. Everyone wants to tell you, oh, don't do this, don't do that. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I didn't Google a thing. That's one thing I haven't done since the diagnosis. I haven't Googled one thing.
Oh, good.
I have just focused on me and my journey, what I need to do. And I haven't listened to anybody else except my doctor, my surgeon.
Yeah.
And they gave me bucket loads of these booklets about
Yeah.
cancer, and I threw them in the bin.
Yeah.
Because for me, that was stressful. It actually made me more anxious. So,
Yes.
and I thought, well, that doesn't mean that's me. That's not. And that's my surgeon actually said to me, don't do all that, and don't listen to everybody. She just said, like, listen to your body, and you're
Yeah.
very self-aware. So do what you need to do. And that really stuck with me as well. And I know for some people, getting information and Googling and doing it is the right thing for them, but it certainly wasn't for me.
Mm.
I just wanted to focus on me. And I also, what I did, my best friend, I would say to her, would you Google that for me? Specifically, just to find out what stage 2 this what it actually means,
Yeah.
rather than Googling and having oodles of information that your brain would go into, overload, or will that be me?
I think that's really interesting because, and I think I must have a hair in my eye because
Oh
I
my
literally
gosh.
am leaking
Are you
here.
okay? Do you want me to stop?
Apologies. No, it's fine. I don't think people will mind. It's very much a lifestyle program. It's very raw. It's good.
Good, good.
But I think that when people hear the word cancer, they immediately have those thoughts and they
Mhm.
immediately see the worst. So I know for myself, it was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
What is this going to mean? What
yeah,
is it going
yeah.
to mean?
what I mean.
But I do think that we can terrify ourselves by reading all this information. So I
Absolutely.
think this is your key is really important there is this is about you.
Mm-hmm.
That those documents are about other people. They're not about you. This is your body. And we're also unique how we manage this, where we are in our life path.
Mm-hmm.
And the story we don't know is where the end of that life path
Yep,
is.
that's very true.
So all of that paperwork really is actually not helpful.
It wasn't helpful to me at all. In fact, it
Yeah.
was the opposite of helpful.
Yeah.
Obviously I just kept the number of there's a colorectal team that I could call if I needed to talk anything through when I had like aches and pains that I was worried about. That would be more something I would have called about than anything else. Is this normal to feel such pain on that side of my body? Or, because it was on the wrong side of my body compared to where the tumor was, and things like that. But that was facts I was getting, not, support groups that are full of people in despair as well. That's another thing I avoided. I went into one and had to leave because there were so many desperate stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not going to be me. That's what I
Yeah.
kept saying to myself. That I don't need a colostomy bag. That was the one thing I asked first of all. She said, no, you're nowhere near that. And will I lose my hair? Because I love my hair. I'm obsessed with my hair. So, with being a woman, it's I think it's just that whole looking like yourself while you're going through it is important to me.
Yeah.
And that helped me get through so positively, that I can look like me. I may have all this going on underneath, and I may have chemo every 3 weeks, and I might be taking tablets, but I still look in the mirror and go, yeah, I'm pretty much me.
Yeah.
And if I had lost my hair, I'd have got a wig to match, I'd have got a wig to match, and I would have looked like me as much as possible. And I think, having had my close friend pass away from ovarian cancer as well, and her being through it, I've seen that with her, and how important it is to just get out there each day and be as much of you as you can be, because that's cancer tries to steal it away from you and disempower you. And I think what it's actually done for me is empowered me to be more me, which is a wonderful thing. And I'm not afraid to be me anymore, where I may have been a little bit before, the little doubts. I'm on my own. I don't have family or a husband. And you do sort of question some of your maybe decisions in your business or your practice or whatever you're doing. Now, no, I don't doubt myself anymore. I can do anything if I can do this,
Yeah.
and
I
that's
think
for me the goodness that's come out of it.
absolutely, because when you're facing possible the end of your life, because that's how people read it, certainly how I read it. When you're facing it, you almost make a decision. Well, if I live, I'm damn well going to live.
Yeah, that's
I am
exactly
not going to hide anymore. I'm
Yeah.
not going to pretend anymore.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie to myself anymore. I'm going to live. And people say, what are you grateful for? I'm breathing. I'm alive. I've got wrinkles. Wow, I'm so excited, and it's like I'm alive.
It's a
And when
privileged age.
you
Yeah.
meet that preciousness that life is, that you walk away from all that baggage that stops you being you. And this is what I love about you, Leigh, is that your reality, your authenticity is like, this is me.
It is me. And obviously losing a friend, it does impact you that way too, especially
It
from
does.
cancer in the middle of my treatment.
Yeah.
It's been heartbreaking. It's been the worst, to have that double whammy in the middle of it it's just heartbreaking. But she did teach me so much as well. She taught me to live, seeing her live so much in her last 7 years was a lesson. She lit the way for me to do this the way I'm doing it. And I wouldn't be doing it this way if it wasn't for her. So it's all these little connections. But yeah, so the chemo for me has been the most, probably the traumatic side of it for me.
Yeah.
The surgery was, I'll say, wee buns, as we say, where it was easy compared to the chemo. Yet the surgery was really serious, extremely painful. I couldn't walk. But the next day, the surgeon came in and I'm walking around my room, and I literally was like, it took me 10 minutes to walk to the door to go to the toilet. But I did it. And he said, oh, you're one of those. you're one of those patients, you just want to get out of here. And I went, yes, I want to get well, and I want to get out of here. And he went, I've no doubt that you will. And
Yeah.
that was, again, something I noticed other patients weren't even out of bed and I was being discharged.
Yes.
So my attitude was get up, move, get out of here and get better. But that's probably just my own mindset from 13
Oh dear. Okay.
to yourself and the way that you. Oh, did you lose me there?
You disappeared for a
I'm
moment.
back again. Okay. Yeah, we're in the hospital. So for me, it's like he said, you're one of those people that just wants to get better. And I was like, yes, I do. It's not in me to think the other
Yeah.
alternative isn't even there. But I think that's all that work that I've done on myself before I was even a therapist that
Yeah.
encouraged me to become a therapist. I think I had a head start on everybody up here.
Absolutely.
And
Definitely.
it's a huge mental game.
Yes.
Cancer, huge. The physical stuff is actually stuff you can do most of the time.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel horrible 4, 5, 6 days after chemo. I don't want to get out of bed. I feel shaky, rotten. It's just not very pleasant. But they help you to manage those symptoms. You get some steroids or you get a bit of antihistamine, or, they reduce the dose and tell you just to ease off on the tablets for a while. And it's all very doable. But the
Yes.
mental side of it, if you don't have your mental game kind of there, it's 100 times harder.
And
And
and I think this is, how you talked about the support groups.
yeah,
You've got a support network of highly skilled trained
I
practitioners.
do every day message me, are you okay?
And and also some magicians in here as well. We've got people that are doing the esoteric healing for you and holding space for you. Of
Yeah,
course, a lot of
exactly.
people don't have that.
I
So
don't, and I don't know how
certainly
to
from
do
my
it.
professional background, social isolation is a bigger killer than cancer.
Yeah, huge.
So if you're dealing with cancer and you're dealing with social isolation, I'm afraid it's really not a very good recipe. So
Certainly isn't. Yeah,
and so these support groups, they're the best you can get.
true. And but it's very sad that that is the best that people can get. That was
Mhm.
the one thing when you're diagnosed. I don't know whether it was the same for you. You're just left. You're just like, oh, right, I've got Christmas to get through. Okay. There's nobody to talk to. There's no support. There is nothing until you're in it.
Yes.
Until you're in like the chemo bit, there is no, there really isn't. There's no outlet. Macmillan's there, but they're very busy. And I mean very busy.
Of
And
course.
I'm not the worst. I want the sickest person in the room, and there are people that need it more. So for me, I was like, well, I have an outlet. I have a network of people. I don't need to
Yeah.
take their time away.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, the one thing I would say is if you, surround yourself with people that are there for you if you
Yeah.
can. If you do have people, lean on them, allow people in. You can't do it on your own.
Absolutely not. And I mean, I've got a wonderful husband and a wonderful family, and I'm very blessed.
Mm.
But we kept mine a secret from everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody wasn't very happy when they found out, the two of us.
Okay. Yeah.
But we did that because we weren't exactly sure for quite some while whether or not that was going to be a positive outcome or not.
I
And
get.
I didn't want people soothsaying.
Yeah, I know. I totally get that.
Because I felt it was me making my decisions about my life, and
Yeah.
the people that actually mattered, my close family,
Mhm.
were the ones that were the only people that needed to know that,
Yeah.
and that was the game we played, really.
Yeah.
And to
Well,
be honest, this for some people will be a surprise that they now know. To be
we're on the
honest.
complete opposite. I've been telling everybody, but then I'm on my own as such. So for me, it was very important to share it and have the support of you guys and
Yeah,
my fellow therapists and my friends,
yeah,
because I need that to
yes,
get through. And
yeah,
it's absolutely okay to do it the other way and not tell anyone either. But it's just
absolutely.
for me, it was really important to speak about it. And now I'm actually, you know, obviously talking about it a lot now, because I want people to know that it is doable. And in many cases, obviously individually, it's a different thing. But you know, I still have my hair, I still go out, I still walk, I still meet friends. I'm not really working an awful lot because dealing with trauma, I can't really deal with myself at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm looking after me
Yes.
and, you know, allowing people to support me, which I was always really bad at before this. And now I'm surrounded by love and support, and you know, it's opened me up to be a bit more vulnerable, and
Mm,
it allowed the love in, and people I never thought would be there for me are there for me,
yeah.
you know, and
And
that's
your
lovely.
future, tell us where you're at you're on your treatment program. I know you're towards the end of it, so just let
Yeah.
know a little bit more, because they don't necessarily know what the treatment regimes are.
Okay, so I started on February the 23rd, and I was told it would be 8 sessions, but if I can manage the 4 full dose sessions, then I'm giving myself the best chance for the future. Now, I did have a choice of saying no to these because the cancer hadn't spread, but it was found in two little lymph nodes just at the side, and obviously they're concerned of it moving. No, you know, so they did say to me to do the chemo, which was a bit of a shocker. And but I decided to do the 3 weekly one instead of the 2 weekly one. The reason being, the 2 weekly one, you've got to wear a glass bottle around your waist for a week. And I'm like, no, that's not me. No, no, no. I'm not having that. So I chose the 3 weekly one on tablets, which is tough. You know, your 8 tablets a day on top of your IV is a lot. But again, it's doable, and they adjust the dose and they help me all along. And I have a 24/7 helpline if I need it. And when Christine passed away and I had funerals and all that to do, they helped me with medication, just with energy and just to get me through those days. So they work with you to get you through. But yes, I'm coming up to February, March, April, May, June. So I've done 5 months, and I'm supposed to do another 3, but we're getting to that stage where you're in discussion with them as to how to manage
Right.
your life and to get enough of what you need, but working towards ending it. Because the side effects are getting too much. I've got the neuropathy, the numbness in my feet, my face, and my hands, and it can be permanent. So we don't want that either. And I need to get back to work to
Of
help more
course.
people. And it's just, it may be IV only going forward. So the next one will be definitely the one in my head where I get done and dusted. So I've done 6. And then I'm going to decide whether to do the last 2 or not. But I will listen to my body. I will listen. I will ask, you know, all my guides and supporters and everybody else, and for some guidance, and just listen to my body, because it never really lets me down, you know. And I listened to it a lot last year and knew there was something wrong. And that's the other thing, keep badgering your doctors if you think there's something wrong. And if your treatment isn't what you want it to, if it's too much, you need to speak up. At one point I told my oncologist, I need you to speak to me like I'm a human being. They were just like really battering me with information
Yeah.
at 8:10 in the morning when I didn't even know who was on the phone. And at that point, my friend was in the hospice. I was going through this. It was not fun. And I said, I need you to slow down and talk to me like a human being, and also explain to me why this is this way and what you want me to do. And will that help me? Will it not? And I need clear communication. That is something they don't do very well. So don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself in your treatment. It's not like you don't have to have the chemo exactly on that day. You know,
No.
you can say that doesn't suit me that week. Can I have wait a wee while, or give myself a break? I need a
Yeah.
holiday. They've offered me a week off holiday to go somewhere, and I was like, no, I want it done.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want any breaks. I just want to get in, get it done, get this PICC line out that I have in my arm, and go on holiday and enjoy it. I
And
don't want
where are you going to go? Tell
I'm
me.
going to go to Spain, and I'm going to go to Cyprus, hopefully, and then hopefully Mexico or somewhere next year. I don't know. But I
Yes.
want to spend a lot of it traveling in between scans, because I go every 6 months. Once the treatment's finished, I've got scans 2 weeks after the PICC line comes out, and then I will have scans every 6 months for 2 years,
Yeah.
and once a year for 3. So
Yeah.
once we get the initial 2 years over with, we're having a party, and I'm 50 that year. So
Uh, excellent. Well, I'm in my 5th year, so I'm sort of almost at the final stage of
for
that game
you.
now.
Well
So,
done. Well
uh,
done, you.
Lee, you are an inspiration, absolute inspiration to people. And if there's anybody out there who um, needs support, then, you know, we know a lot of amazing therapists, don't we? Counselors, psychotherapists, hypnotherapists, and everything in between.
Yep.
So, you know, please reach out to Leigh and myself.
Absolutely.
And even if we're not the right people for you, there will be people that we know. So there's no need to struggle. If you are living on your own and there are family members asking you to go and live with them, for goodness sake, say yes.
Yeah.
Say
You need
yes
to.
more to support.
Yeah.
Say yes more to being held.
Yeah.
Physically being touched is important
It
in
is.
terms of your spiritual healing and your physical healing. You see, you can't separate body, mind, and spirit. And what Leigh's story tells us, if the mind is positive, the body will respond to it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the outcome is, it's the journey of that that matters. So, you know, find people around you that are not going to soothsay, people that are actually going to say you're doing really well, but you need to get off your ass and go and do something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
go and get a coffee in the coffee shop or have your hair done if those are the things you
Yeah.
do.
I also, my bad days, I have someone that tells me to stop being so shit. Literally, excuse my language, but that's literally it. And I'm like, you're right. If I stay like this all day, I'm just going to be miserable.
Yeah.
So why be miserable when I can actually be happier? You know, but you do need those people around you as well that, you know, the supporting loving ones, but also the ones that just push you that wee bit to go, right, come on,
Yeah,
you know, you've got
absolutely.
this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that we both could tell stories of days where we just can't be bothered. You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And
I
you
mean,
sort of start spiraling down, and then your body's going, oh, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to stop doing it.
mm,
No, 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 let it heal.
right.
Give it time. And
Yeah, I always say to myself, I am healing and I am cancer free. And the
yeah,
one thing I've never owned my cancer, as I'm saying my cancer there, I've never
yeah.
said that. So
Okay.
I really, I don't know how that's other people handle it, but I don't take ownership of it. I call it the cancer or the thing I'm going through, or I'm not actually allowing it to be me. It's
No,
I'm in charge of it.
absolutely. You are in control. And I think that when we know that our bodies and we're sensitive to our bodies, we can send lots of healing energy to us. This is what I teach people. So if anybody's in pain, we may as well do this together, Leigh, if you don't mind joining me. If you're in pain, then put your hands in front of you and imagine that you've got a ball of light and it's swirling and it's beautiful and it's full of healing energy, and just pour love into it. So whatever you love, if it's butterflies, if it's chocolate cake, whatever it is, pour that into there. And so that ball of light is just filled with solid love. Now squeeze it. I want you to make it into one of those super balls, those balls that bounce higher, the more you dropped it, the higher it went. Make it really small. And then say you've got a pain in your shoulder, put your hand on your shoulder and push that ball of light into that pain. And feel that love just pouring into your moment of your body. Every cell of your body being colored by that ball, allowing that healing, even though it's only in your imagination, to actually make a difference. And you might find that your pain is reduced, and you might find your pain disappears. But that's what you can do when you're in charge of your own healing. So every day, just be kind to yourself, say positive things, use EFT tapping if that's what you want to do, but always create a ball of energy filled with your love of everything that you love and push it into that area that is in trouble. Leigh, thank you so much. You're adorable. I'm so grateful that I know you and for all of the lessons that you're teaching us through this journey. I look forward to the pictures from Mexico.
Yeah, might be somewhere else for all I know.
Or
At the moment,
wherever.
I'm just like I'm open to suggestions to anything that might happen in the next year of where I end up. I'm so open now to new things, and
Yeah,
I won't hold back on going. I won't procrastinate ever again. So
good. And also, of course, I look forward to being able to change people's lives with the therapy that you do. And when you're well enough to manage that, that'd be fantastic.
yeah.
I'm going to ask Leigh to drop all of her information to me to go in the show notes. And so do look below at this. And thank you so much, my lovely. And thank you so much for joining us. And I hope
Thank you
this
for
has
having
been
me.
helpful.
Oh
Do
yeah, it's been lovely.
reach out.
It's been lovely.
Any final words, Leigh?
Yeah, just I guess just believe in yourself, that you'll find a strength that you never thought you had,
Mm,
and just believe that you can get through the
yeah,
worst days of your life, and there is light at the end, you know. That's
brilliant stuff. Lovely. Well, thank you very much, all of you, and have a good day. Take care. So here I am sitting outside with life. Dogs barking, birds singing, butterflies flying. And it's when we make these powerful connections by just listening and experiencing all of the noises that nature brings and the humans around me bring. And what leads us to thinking about our own bodies and all of the experiences we bring to our bodies. The way we sit, the way we stand, where we walk, how we stand. And when we get in tune with our bodies, we can really start to understand their messages to us. We can feel the creak in our knee, and it's telling us to stretch, or it's telling us to walk. There are many ways to interpret our body's needs, but the best way is to listen to our body. So take a moment now, whatever you're doing, to listen to your body. And every time you create a different activity, just take that moment to listen to your body. And feed your body with good things, healthy, wholesome words, feelings, experiences, music. Just enjoy this body, which is the vehicle of your spirit here on earth. Take a nice, full, slow breath. And hold it for that 1 second or two before you slowly release and open your eyes. Thank you for joining us. I really value your presence. Have a wonderful day.